All right, be patient with me, folks. I've still got two more websites to drop the link to because people have complained that I take too long doing so. All right. Um. Okay. There we go. Okay, I think I got it all under control for the moment. I make no promises. Um. All right. Go away. Now I've got to pull up a few other things. Those are for later. This one is here. Sorry, normally D is here to entertain you guys. Well,
D has gone nuts.
the what?
D has gone nuts.
No, she had to take care of some stuff for family. Um I'm gonna try to get through a few different things today. So be patient with me. Uh, Normally I have this stuff pulled up because D is chit-chatting with you guys, so please be patient with me.
Mother, their attention spans have been brain rotted by TikTok. They have virtually zero attention span. They all would
Uh,
have clicked off by now.
Probably. And it doesn't
Oh,
surprise
hey,
me.
there's the metal cup. Wondering where that went to.
Really, be careful.
What the heck is this thing?
I
Oh, is this
don't.
the back camera to the car?
The backup camera? Yes.
What's it doing in here?
Ask your father. Okay.
Yeah, I wish the HDMI cables would say what type they
Oh
are.
my god. Why is this
Oh
not
my god! Another one!
another battery pack?
Yeah, where are they all coming from? Why weren't they there a couple days ago?
I really don't know, my dear. I really don't know.
Nitro Thunder.
I do apologize this is taking me so long. Again, normally I'm getting all of this pulled together before D jumps in. I'm not doing very good today. Why is this on here twice? This
Because
is
it wants to be cloned.
oh my lord. Oh shit.
Oh my god!
What, honey?
Another one! Where are they all coming?
Just a couple days ago, you couldn't find those for to save your life.
Know, right?
Please be patient, folks. I am really having a day here. I thought I had all of this open. Turns out I did not.
Because you don't know what you're doing.
9 times out of 10, I don't.
Oh, it doesn't have disc in it. Thank God.
Um, I'm going to try and cover as much as I can today. Um,
This HDMI cable has Ethernet. How does that work?
it shouldn't. Is it a directional cable?
It's an HDMI cable.
Yes, but it could be from one side, out the other, not dual direction. Yeah, that's a it's just one directional. So the TV cannot send information back to the computer per se, but the computer can send to the TV. Make sense?
No. I thought the
Okay.
RMPS stuff was 50.
I think I got everything open that I need for the moment. Wait, do I have that video? It's going to be a moment, folks. I apologize. Normally you guys know I'm a little bit better prepared for this.
But ever since the towers went down, you have never been prepared for
Shut
anything.
up. Ignore my son. All right, so we're starting with where? That one. Okay. No. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I am mostly prepared for this. Okay. We're mostly prepared. Um I could have swore there was one other to that. Where did it go? Oh, bugger. It's going to be one of those days, folks. I'm telling you. Uh, I apologize. Here we go. Screen share. I didn't get a chance to download this, so be patient with me. Okay, you have fun, D. I'm trying to get this my brain, folks. Okay, screen share. That's our priority right now. All right, be patient with me. My brain is just like screw you. All right. Let's do this number. And let's listen in on this. This is the Don Satino or Satina. I'm trying to read it. It looks like it was an X post that someone recorded and put to YouTube. Evidently, 70% of the DOJ civil rights lawyers are quitting. We have an article to read after this.
of Justice, Department of Civil Rights Division is doing a self colon cleanse. Up to 70% of their lawyers are going to quit, take early retirement offers, otherwise separate themselves from the Department of Justice. Wonderful news. As this X account notes, the leftist lawyers are self deporting from the Department of Justice. It'll make it that much easier for Pam and Harmeet Dillon, who's put in charge of the Civil Rights Division, to clean house. Exodus at the DOJ Civil Rights Division, as officials say, over 100 attorneys are departing. Nothing makes me happier than the Washington Post having to report this news. Civil rights lawyers leave en masse. as Justice Department mission shifts. What's the shift in the mission for the Civil Rights Division? For decades, their mission has been DEI, anti white racism. Everybody in America was entitled to civil rights unless you were white, especially a straight white guy. You got F. That was their mission. Trump is not allowing that anymore. Trump is placing the priority on not violating the civil rights of normal Americans. Normal Americans. More headline. Roughly 70% of the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division expected to accept resignation offer as division pivots to advocating for Trump agenda, the Trump agenda, like it's the agenda of one guy, like the majority of Americans didn't exercise their political will in the last election to make this man president again, like we didn't know him the first time. We want him. It's our agenda. It's not Trump's agenda. It's America's agenda. More of this. 50% of lawyers, we're here anywhere from 50 to 70%. I wish it was 90% of lawyers in the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division quit when they learned they would have to combat anti-Semitism. And David Bernstein, again, the Obama administration literally had an unannounced, was it really unannounced, policy that it would not take cases in which the victims of civil rights laws violations were white. It stacked the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division with lawyers who were on board with this DEI agenda. DEI just, it doesn't stand for diversity, inclusion, and equity. It stands for anti-white racism, especially anti-straight white male racism. Everybody was placed on a hierarchy, and if you were the straight white guy, you were at the bottom of the ladder by government fiat. Government.
Yeah. And I noticed this when Obama was in office and even when Trump took over. I was not a fan of it. I saw the hiring practices and I also saw how it harmed so many businesses firsthand with DEI hires. And yeah, I mean, okay, so they're cleaning house. And as Art pointed out, are they going to actually be able to replace these people? I don't think I want to listen to this guy repeat himself for a fourth time in what is it, 3 minutes? Yeah, a 3 minute video. Yeah, kind of repeating himself like me, but yeah, it's hit or miss whether this is going to be a good thing or not. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a good thing because they are now bringing balance back to this, but it's again one of those things that I feel is too little, too late. There's an article right here says Justice Department Civil Rights Division loses 70% of lawyers under Trump. More than 250 lawyers have left or been resigned since January. Wow, that is a lot. Um, oh, been reassigned. I apologize, not resigned, reassigned. Or have accepted deferred resignation offers. That is a lot. According to an estimate provided by to the Guardian by people familiar with the matter, the significant decrease in personnel underscores how Donald Trump is gutting the arm of the federal government. Um, Responsible for enforcing civil rights laws. There, about 235 attorneys. Um, yeah, it's perhaps a good thing to have qualified people to replace the ones who leave. That's not as easy as it seems. Exactly, especially for the last decade that colleges have just been giving everyone crackerjack box degrees. Oh, you showed up, here's a degree. Oh, you're breathing, here's a degree. It's like, did you really work for it? Or did you just show up and smile and look pretty? Everyone took these courses that really weren't that hard. And, feminine art studies and this, that, and the other. That is not a tough course. And I would have failed it just because I would have told them how stupid they are and how this makes no logical sense. And I would have been like failing and kicked out multiple times over. It's not because it's complicated, it's because it's illogical. Um, I like working where my brain and my body are both in demand, not just one or the other. And I'm sure not going to take that. I sit there and twiddle my thumbs and look pretty when the boss walks by and hey, I get paid for it. That shit don't fly with me either. So, yeah, we need to maybe get more people there. So, about 235 attorneys in the Division of Civil Enforcement section have accepted deferred resignation or have quit, and roughly another 20 have been reassigned or detailed to do other work within the agency, including handling public records requests and internal agency complaints. Um, the section that handled civil enforcement work in the division. Oh my God, I'm going to learn to read, I promise. The core of its work had around 365 attorneys in January, according to a rough estimate. It had 365. Okay, so one for each day of the year. Um, According to a rough estimate in the Guardian, about 105 remain after 20 the a 28 April April 28th deadline. Oh my God, we're is this even an American? Is this an American article? Is the Guardian American? It looks like it. And yet they're using date format from another country. April 28th deadline to accept a deferred resignation offer. The roughly 70% reduction in attorneys comes as the Trump administration has sought to transform the Civil Rights Division, created in 1957, to enforce U.S. federal civil rights laws. Harmeet Dillon, a Trump ally, oh my God, who took over the division in April, has made it clear that the focus of the division will be enforcing Trump's priorities, including hunting voter fraud, which is exceedingly rare, not in my opinion, preventing discrimination against white people in colleges admissions, and limiting the rights of transgender people. This is an extremely biased article, in case you haven't noticed. um, is very biased. No, they're not limiting the rights of transgender people. You can still be who you want to be. You can still go change your gender and mutilate your body in any way you see fit. But to be quite honest, buddies, over here at the Guardian, yeah, no, the entire work environment does not have to revolve around the one or two trans people in the office. Okay, blow me on that one. That doesn't work that way. Um, so yeah. Current and former department employees emphasize that the departures effectively made it impossible for the division to fulfill the civil rights statutes um, it has long been ordered to enforce by Congress. No, you can still defend people. You're just not going to be able to ignore some people because you are told to discriminate against race of those people. I'm trying to word this in a way that isn't going to get me in trouble. So, flat out, yeah, you gotta take civil rights cases from everyone who is an American citizen, not just the ones that you think you'll actually win or because, they're already a darker pigmented skin tone. Uh, you have to have a U.S. attorney to prosecute the cases. If you don't have them, there's no case. Yeah, that's true. these defense attorneys and stuff like this, if they're not around, yeah. Again, it's just become so one-sided here. Like, and again, I'm not trying to be racist in any way, fashion, or form. Ask anyone who's part of my family. That's far from the case with me. Well, unless you listen to my some of the deranged family members. In general, looking at it, if you're a person of color and you want to cry racism, you're probably going to win your case automatically. But if a white person goes and cries racism, it gets disregarded, ignored, and no one does jack shit about it. That's not fair. Even though there have been blatant cases of racism towards white people, we're not allowed to say or do anything about it. And again, I'm not trying to promote hatred or racism in any way, fashion, or form. I am pointing out a fact. And it has been long time coming. I've this shit started back as far as I can remember, even in the 90s. The late 90s is really early 2000s, I would say, is when it kind of started to make a comeback. But then when Obama got in office, it just went over the top insane. Obama really made this bad, and the colleges did not help at all. So, I just I don't like the way this is going. I don't like the way I just want to see a balance. I'm not wanting to see white people superior to this person or that person. I don't give two fucks about your race. I just want everyone to shut up about it. I am so sick of hearing about race. I don't give a shit about race anymore. This shit annoys me. This is the kind of shit that actually annoys me. And what's really sad is that by over screaming about it, like the boy who cried wolf, the serious cases get ignored. I mean, how many different ways can I put this? Like I can sit here and try reading the rest of this. It's just this is stupid the way they're writing this. They have absolutely mm, they have skewed this so badly. Oh my lord. I don't yeah, I don't think I can read much more. I'm kind of glad they're gone. Hopefully we'll get some sane middle ground people in there and not have to worry about this shit. Um, oh, they're calling his message sadistic. Oh, because you don't get your way, it's automatically sadistic. Uh huh. Frickin' imbeciles. I'm sorry. This just annoys the piss out of me, as you guys know, or should know by now. Mm, they were they were involuntarily resigned. Oh Lord. Oh, you don't want to do the work, you want to pitch a fit? Oh, be like the rest of America when they do the same thing at their job. And what happens? Oh yeah, they get fired if we complain about doing our job. Yeah, go ahead, walk into a grocery store. Pretend to be a cashier for a couple of days. Sit there and tell your boss to go kiss off that you're not going to do this and you're not going to do that because you don't like the way it looks or the how much it's going to have to require you to do. You're fired. That that's kind of, what happens when you don't do your job. Oh my lord. I'm sorry. These people annoy me. Who the hell wrote this garbage? Which journalist, well, using that word loosely, journalist, wrote this shit? Um, where's, wow, I can't find the journalist's name. It's usually at the top with the title, and all they're crediting is the photograph. Um, really? Oh, Sam Levine. Mr. Sam Levine or Mrs. Sam Levine. I don't know what Sam's short for. You're a moron. Just going to point that out. This is absolute skewed, one-sided garbage, and I'm going to keep with the assumption. I mean, anyways, next topic. This is just annoying as shit. Next topic was this Pritzker dude from Illinois. I've got some information about him. Um, he is based out of Chicago. It looks like. Listen to this jackass acting like he wants, acting like democracy's on the line and has a, just this dude's an idiot. Listen to this shit.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption. But I am now.
Okay, so this is in New Hampshire. I apologize. This is New Hampshire.
These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. They have to understand that we will fight their cruelty with every megaphone and microphone that we have. We must castigate them on the soapbox and then punish them at the ballot box. Never before in my life have I.
So he's calling for, God blessed son of a me. I keep dropping shit. It is going to be one of those days. I apologize. So yeah, he claims he doesn't ever call for this stuff. I beg to differ. And so let's see something. Hold on one second. I want to make sure I got the right person. JB. Yes, I do. All right. So let's look at this page. So this is coming from Vote Smart, Facts for All. And you notice they only allow 3 free uses. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Uh, I have no problem with people who resign because they can't work for the new boss. As an attorney, you cannot go into court and misrepresent things. Being honest already got one attorney fired. But yeah, and now and I can get it. If they truly believe that this case is what they're claiming it is, fine. But if they're also not being fair and are being prejudiced in their practice of which cases are taken, which cases are processed, the system's messed up. And again, they're being brainwashed to believe that white people evil. We don't need to, handle their cases. We don't need to be nice to them. As long as they're the bad guy, we're good. And that's not even remotely the case anymore. And it's like, again, if you can't work, get out. I get it. But the wording that this administration has been using lately really is their problem. Their messaging is absolute atrocious. It's inflammatory, it's incendiary. I absolutely think that they could do a better job at wording this shit, and we would have less problems. But good luck getting them to do that. I'm trying to clean my glasses so I can actually see. Um, I do apologize, folks. But back to this JB Pritzker dude. Yeah. Um, where in the hell did the cap go? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I do not need this nonsense today. Really? You've got to be kidding me. How does this shit happen? I set a cap down somewhere. to my there it is to my cleaning solution. Look at look at the guy they work for. Do you really expect anything different? I've had to work for some shit ass bosses simply because I needed the damn paycheck. Obviously, they're not hurting for money as bad as I've been in my many years. I did not like the idea of the hiring practices Obama put into place, but I had to participate in it. I had to follow the whole thing. I had bills I had to pay. Sometimes you just got to suck it up. And as long as it's not unconstitutional, you still got to do your damn job. And from my understanding, these people were not fired just because, from the sounds of it, is all of them have left voluntarily. Not one was fired or forced out. They literally just said peace out without, like, it's Trump rewards conflict and arguments, so the people around him will do that too. And that's one thing I noticed as well. I'm really not a fan of it. You've heard me say it. I'm critical of it. It's something it frustrates me. But at this point, it's a civil rights branch of the government. How many actual cases of civil rights violations do we get that actually go anywhere? I'm really, I'm curious now. Um, hold on, I'm curious. They received complaints, but how many actually went to court? They don't give you a number. I'm looking at this. They claimed that there were 18,804 complaints in 2022. But I asked how many make it to court. They're not giving me. A fraction may ultimately lead to lawsuits. So, do we really need that many lawyers for something that's obviously not as severe as it used to be? I mean, if it's not a serious situation, why do we have so many lawyers working on it? It doesn't make sense. And again, they won't even give you how many make it to court. They say it's difficult. Look at this shit. It's difficult to pinpoint an exact number of civil rights violations that make it to court annually. No, it's not. You got the number of complaints. How many court records are out there? Seriously? How many court records? Nobody's got an answer. Civil Rights, Federal Bureau of Investigation. Let's take a peek at this. I want to get past this bullshit. Okay, that's basically. I'm looking. So anything that's a false arrest, an essay, uh, people deprived of their medical records, failure to keep from harm. So, the actual stuff. But no one can put a number to it. Why? Oh, because the cases probably fall apart and don't make it to court? I mean, come on. Why do we even have a massive amount of people working on this if most of them don't have a case that they can put together? There are three case dispositions: go to court, settle out of court, dropped or closed. Very few probably go to court. Yeah. And again, so they're either paying them off to shut them up because they were either guilty or they are just idiots and it was a money grab situation, kind of an what's the word? You know the word. Yeah, that thing. Um the dropped or closed is probably because the case didn't have jack shit that they could hold up in court. And again, settled out of court doesn't mean guilty either. If it was so egregious, why don't they take it to court? And we get it. Cost money, timely. Come on. If you have an open and shut case, it's worth it. But when you're literally just suing them and taking a out of court case settlement, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know at that point. It seems more like you're just interested in getting a payment for it, not sending someone to jail for what they did. I would rather see someone go to jail over a civil rights violation than getting a payment. So a settlement can result in a criminal plea deal. Yeah, but still, no one's, again, though, you got these people, they're quietly doing this behind the scenes, so there's no media coverage of it. Or are they just, paying them off to shut them up and get them to go away because it's easier than proving you weren't being a racist? It's just one of those things that just frustrates the hell out of me with that one. The dropped cases are because there ain't shit to back it up. And honestly, they won't they claim that they get 18,000 of these cases a year. They get complaints, but they can't give you a decent number of court cases or plea deals outside of court. I mean, come on. This is absolute lying crap here. I just am not fond of them. Um, I'm gonna jump back to JB Pritzker, because that's where I'm supposed to be. Um, which state is this in? This is in Chicago. So why was he talking in New Hampshire? Do we have the same person? Let's see. So JB Pritzker received 330,000 in property tax breaks and refunds as part of a scheme to defraud linked to his Chicago Gold Coast mansion. The news broke just 1 week after. This was from October 4th, 2018. So way back then, according to the Chicago Sun-Times, Pritzker bought the mansion next door to his residence, removed the toilets, allowed it to fall into disrepair, then argued it was uninhabitable in order to profit upwards of 330,000 on property tax breaks and savings. Wow. That's is this dude still in office? Hold on. I want to see if this dude's still in office. Oh, I forgot to share the right one. Uh Sorry. Let me close that. Um yeah, good job. Learn to type too. Okay. Yeah, he is the current governor of Illinois. Lovely. Um even though he's done wrong and called for the people to do horrible things to Republicans, he's still somehow in office. Yeah, y'all got to work better on voting these assholes out, please. Please. And maybe fix your state laws so there aren't so many loopholes in them, where people are ripping you off. I mean, it makes sense. Um, Let me see. Next one was, based out of Colorado. Yes. Let me pull up this video. This is absolutely messed up. There is an article to go with it. Here, let me just go through the article really fast, kind of thing. So in March of 25th, a Colorado State House Health and Human Services Committee, this idiot politician basically pointed out that it's cheaper to keep giving abortions than it is to let a child go to term. Listen to this. It's absolute pure insanity. Um, One second. Here we go. Listen to this nonsense.
That savings comes from the averted births that will not occur because abortions happened instead. So a birth is more expensive than an abortion. So the savings comes in Medicaid births that will not occur. This bill will actually decrease costs for our healthcare policy and financing department, our Medicaid expenditures in both this year and out years, as the savings from averted births outweigh the cost of covering reproductive health care for all Coloradans. This bill requires all abortion services to be state funded. The bill requires an increase to general fund of 1.5 million to cover the cost for care. But again, a reminder that ultimately the state will see a cost savings. And ultimately, it is truly an honor to be here carrying this bill alongside.
So kill your kids and you won't have to, your tax money can go to something else. Yeah. Her logic sucks. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't personally do that. Sorry. I've got two wonderful children. Well, they're adults now, 21 and 20. Um, 20 in September. She's 19 right now. But they can bite me. I love having my kids and I will gladly pay for them over and over and over again. But I'm absolutely 100% done with the nonsense of, our state should save money, so we should encourage people to have abortions so we don't have to pay for their kids to get, health coverage and, live here. Like, oh my God, how can people vote for her or anyone else that promotes this garbage? Like, seriously, how? How can you vote for this nonsense? I just don't get it. It's absolute. Anyways, um, let me go back to this article since you guys were able to see that. So yeah, Colorado also is trying to stifle your gun rights too. Um, to promote induced abortions on the grounds that it's cheaper for the government. Really? How about you just bring in some more jobs and actual living wages that are affordable and, make life better and they won't have to, have abortions. Like, seriously. This is that nonsense that gets on my nerves. It really does. Um, then we have this nonsense in Massachusetts. Give me 1 second while I get the next video ready to come up. Oh my lord, be patient with me. I'm solo today. Um, so in Massachusetts, they spent 3 billion on homeless, but didn't build a single house, and homeless has doubled in 3 years. Make that make sense. So in the past 3 years, Massachusetts has allocated 3 billion for the emergency shelter system, but it didn't build a single home, and homelessness increased from 14,000 to 29,000 in 3 years. Most of the money went to grossly overpriced $10,000 per month hotel rooms and the government and nonprofit salaries instead of building long term housing. Oh, sounds like some more people need to be removed from office. Generally, when the government fights homelessness, a lot of people make money, and the problem not only even ever the problem not only never goes away, it generally gets worse. In total, government spending on anti poverty initiatives across federal, state, and local levels exceeds 1.8 trillion. You want to know how to fight homelessness? Bring in more jobs. More jobs, more people working. More people working, more people living in a home or an apartment, not living on state funding. You want homelessness to go away? Bring jobs back in. I mean, it seems simple enough. We had this back years ago. And then, oh, yeah, that's right. All of our stuff got sent overseas. Got it. Forgot about that nonsense. Um, sorry, I am struggling to breathe today. Estimated homeless people was 580,000 in 2020. Data not comprehensively available due to COVID. Really? You're gonna This went up 2,500 in 2 years. Then it spiked 100 and well, just under. It's like 73,000, and then it jumped 122,000 and change. Yeah, somebody's definitely mishandling the money. That's very clear. I just why? Why can't we just do what we're supposed to be fucking doing? Why are we ripping off the taxpayers? Why are these people allowed to stay in office? Be patient 1 second. I gotta take an inhaler. I'm struggling to breathe today. So, taxes go up, homelessness goes up, and one or two politicians get more rich while they try to combat homelessness instead of bringing jobs to the community, and then everyone gets rich. I mean, it must be just me. I must be somehow missing this, or I'm extremely stupid. That's all I can come up with. Um, in Fall River, the head of Stepping Stone Fall River Primary Homeless Shelter that also provides addiction treatment makes 265,000 a year, or twice as much as the mayor, more than the government of Massachusetts, and nearly 9 times as much as Fall River workers. Stepping Stone is just one of hundreds, if not thousands, of nonprofits in Massachusetts getting rich, helping our most vulnerable. There are thousands, if not tens of thousands, of these nonprofits operating across America. I absolutely agree. And when it's government funded, because it's a nonprofit, they go off of taxes and donations. Guess what happens? Oh, yeah, things get mishandled. What used to happen when people mishandled funds? Oh, they got fired. They got to go to jail. They didn't get to keep the money. They had to sell their shit that they bought with it and pay it back. Do we see any of that going on these days? Because I don't see it publicly. Is there stuff going on? And this is a small town, middle of frickin' nowhere, Massachusetts, by the sounds of it. Um, so why are they allowed to get away with this? Someone help me make sense of this nonsense. And you know what, though? It's not even just Massachusetts. Hold on. Let me jump you guys to the video so I can have a minute to catch my breath, since it is very hard to breathe. Listen to this nonsense.
I'm in downtown LA, Skid Row, and I want to point out a few things that's gone on here in the past few years. In 2023, Gavin Newsom set aside $750 million to build tiny homes for people just like this that are surrounding by me. Somehow that money's gone. In 2019, they set aside $24 billion to go towards the homeless. Somehow that money's gone. It's unaccounted for. I want to talk about a few politicians from here. One is Nancy Pelosi. She's been serving these people since 2007. Her net worth is over $120 million. Another person here, Maxine Waters, she's been serving the people here in California since 1990. Her net worth is over $10 million. And Gavin Newsom, who knows what his net worth is, but we know he is building a $9 million home in San Francisco, California. Their leaders, the leaders of California, they failed these people here in Los Angeles and in California. California has actually been one of the highest states in America that people have fled from. Over 66 million people have left California in the last few years, and yet Gavin Newsom, he's out there holding a podcast when he should be working on his state. He might be making a run for it in 2028, and I hope people remember this that's behind me.
Another thing where that didn't work out. Anyone else know of any others? Oh, New York, Chicago, Detroit. It's always the same damn thing. Always. How? Um, where's that other one? Oh, here's another one. I don't think do I have this video pulled up? Hold on, give me a second. I apologize. I am really struggling today with the breathing, and thinking. Hold on, I need to see if I have this video already available. I thought I had this available. Uh-oh. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. This is an older video of a politician out of New Jersey. Not this new mayor who got arrested, but a previous mayor of, where is it? Lumberton, New Jersey, back in 2023. And while we were researching this, Dee was doing the digging. She couldn't find any outcome of whether this person spent time in jail, got removed from office, anything like that happened from it. So I apologize. Let me hit play.
You okay?
Yes, I am.
Newly released body-worn camera footage from Lumberton police shows the response to Mayor Gina LaPlaca's alleged DUI. Officers met her at her home around 5:40 p.m. on March 17th as she gets her toddler out of the car. She stumbles almost immediately, and an officer asks her about the damaged side mirror.
What happened?
She tells officers she had just picked up her child.
Where you come from?
From school?
Police say a witness contacted them about an erratic driver.
It's still just a lot of swerving, but then up here it gets to the point where like fully off.
The witness recorded cell phone video, which he shows to officers.
I didn't realize there was a kid in the car until like we were at the red light turning left on the 38.
At the house, officers had LaPlaca perform field sobriety tests.
What did you drink?
She's then handcuffed and put into the back of a police vehicle.
Sorry. I know, that's okay.
In her car, officers found a water bottle with alcohol in it, as well as a small liquor bottle. She was charged with DUI and related offenses.
Since your blood alcohol level was so high, we have to take you to the hospital.
Shortly after her arrest, La Placa's husband told Action News she's seeking treatment for addiction. At the Township Committee meeting last week, residents and committee member Terrence Benson called on La Placa to resign as mayor. I spoke with the township solicitor today, who says the township has no comment. Now,
Oh, no, I'm sorry. This was a more recent one. Back in 2023, she was arrested for assault charges, according to the post that I found this on from X. So she was drunk driving in March of this year, March 17th. And she 2 years ago has an assault charge. That might be why we haven't found anything yet about this case. Is because it is recent. I had to look at the body cam footage to notice the date. I do apologize. And again, this is happening everywhere. There was an article about it. She's 45 years old. Oh, they really. Yeah, that is a very brief article. It doesn't even cover anything really more than what we know. So, tell me why Philadelphia is covering it. That is strange. Hold on. I wanted to cover this one really quick too. So be patient with me. Hold on, go away. There's this illegal immigrant became a public official. Right here. Where is it? I am so sorry. I am distracted and all over the place from not being able to breathe. This is a bit of a longer video, but listen to this nonsense and I'll cut it off at some point. But listen to this. She came here as an illegal immigrant and is now somehow on a city council, Boston City Council.
Okay, remember the story of a former illegal immigrant who was voted into the Boston City Council.
Tanya Fernandez Anderson has a lot of firsts on the Boston City Council. She is the first Muslim, the first African immigrant, and the first formerly undocumented immigrant to serve.
Your votes here sometimes are racist. You move sometimes in a way that hurts my people. And then when I get up to stand up and talk, all she talks about is black stuff. As you should. I am here to represent every single black woman and man that suffers in the community. God has my back. What do I have to do in this council in order to get respect as a black woman?
One, don't talk like you're uneducated. Don't act like a fool, and you might get some respect. Oh, and by the way, not doing as you demand or as you want is not disrespectful. They probably have good reason for not implementing what you suggest, because what you suggest may not help the entire community, only parts of the community, which is a civil rights violation. So let's continue.
A few moments later.
Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez Anderson has just been taken into custody.
Here's video from moments ago of the FBI outside a Dorchester home. We told you earlier this week the city councilor is under federal investigation, but neither she nor the city would tell us why. Officials cited the U.S. Attorney's Office, saying the integrity of a grand jury investigation would be impaired by disclosing information.
Many months later.
Developing tonight, Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez Anderson will plead guilty to federal charges in her corruption case. And that's not all. She also said she will resign from city council.
So the first former undocumented, first Muslim, first African immigrant to be elected to city council has pled guilty to federal corruption charges and is resigning her post. Let's talk about it. This is Tanya Fernandez Anderson, a trailblazer in Boston politics. She's the first Muslim, the first African immigrant, and the first formerly undocumented immigrant to serve in Boston City's council.
Tanya Fernandez Anderson will be the first Muslim and first African immigrant on the council, having come to Boston from Cape Verde as a child.
Now, she also has the title of being the first Boston councilwoman to face a federal indictment for corruption charges. Now, for those good people who have seen this story before and have heard these facts before, you can fast forward to the end to get the most recent update. But for those of you who never heard this story before, the facts are pretty insane. Now, Anderson was elected to the Boston City Council in 2021, and she was hailed as a voice for marginalized communities.
Adaptability. I mean, look, I was formerly undocumented, right? So the first African immigrant. So I come from a different world, and I adapted here in the U.S., this amazing country, and learned to love Roxbury.
Now, after being elected, she decided, hey, you know what? Let me hook up my family with comfy jobs here at City Council, and started employing people like her sister and brother.
The commission says Fernandez Anderson appointed her sister director of constituent services. She paid her $65,000, later raised it to $70,000 and threw in a $7,000 bonus. Total salary $77,000. The commission says in June of last year, Fernandez Anderson appointed her son office manager and paid him $52,000 a year. The next month, she raised that to $70,000. The counselor ended the employment of her sister and son in August of 2022.
She even went as far as to ask the city council to raise the salary of staff members so she can pay even more money to her family members.
Boston city councilors control their own budget, deciding for themselves how much to spend on everything from salary and bonuses to postage. And Fernandez Anderson advocated for bigger budgets. Here she is in April of last year, just 1 month before giving
bigger budgets that don't benefit anybody but her immediate family. Yeah, this is happening, but it doesn't make national news. Half the time, it doesn't even make local news, especially in a city. I'm in a tiny ass town. If something was going askew, it gets found out pretty quickly. So, but small towns are far more corrupt sometimes than even city level, but small towns just turn the other way. And you got to stop doing that. You got to fight this shit. You can't just keep letting these people get away with this. And Nate, the lawyer, it does a great job on this video.
Giving her relative the bonus.
The point is that we're not paying our staff properly.
She and other counselors asked to
we're not paying our staff properly. You're it's a civil servant position. You are working not to make a frickin' fortune, but to help the people of your town, of your community. This is not something you make a career out of. You do it for a bit and then you give it to somebody else. Just like, senators and representatives are supposed to do. Anyways, let's continue.
To increase their staff salary budget from $315,000 to $390,000 and suggested
to leave the decision making to the discretion of the counselor.
Now, after it was found out that she was employing her family members to these positions at City Council, the ethics board said, well, you can't do that because of the conflict of interest, and then gave her a major fine for the violations.
The State Ethics Commission leveling a $5,000 fine against Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez Anderson for putting her sister and her son on the city payroll.
Now, members of the City Council in Boston make between $103,000 to $125,000 a year. But that wasn't enough money for Anderson, who was behind on her rent and was in a financial disaster personally.
Her personal finances in shambles, including missing rent and car payments, old state ethics fines, and bank overdraft fees.
Okay, you make that much money and you can't live within your means? My family currently, a family of 4 is living on $48,000 a year. And we are making sure we get everything covered. Absolutely covered. Why the hell can't she live within her means? Making double what I'm making, what my family brings in. And we have rent. We opted to buy a used car, cash up front, basically. So it was a person-to-person sale, not through a dealership. So we don't have to worry about that. You know, you cut your costs to live within your financial means, or you get a better job. City council is not meant to live high on the horse and living in luxury. Like, really? Anyways, let's hit play.
Fees. If we love people and we care about people, we respect them. And if you respect them, you pay them.
Now, here's a message from our sponsor, Hillsdale College. History, economics, the great works of literature.
Hold on. Let me jump ahead. I forgot to edit that out. Damn it.
Missing car payments. She can't pay her fines from the state, and her bank has overdrafted her accounts. So how are you going to get some more money if you're a city council person? Well, it seems like she put a kickback plan into place.
Ms. Fernandez-Anderson was facing financial difficulty in 2023. Part of that financial difficulty stemmed from a sanction that was imposed by the State Ethics Commission of $5,000 for Ms. Fernandez-Anderson hiring immediate family members in her Boston City Council office. And in around that same time in 2023, Ms. Fernandez-Anderson, the grand jury alleges, hatched this scheme to funnel bonus payments, taxpayer money into her own pocket in the tune of approximately $7,000. Specifically, despite the fact that she was under investigation by the State Ethics Commission, Ms. Fernandez-Anderson hired another family member on her staff at Boston City Hall to handle constituent services. That staff member was related to her, but Ms. Fernandez-Anderson falsely represented to City Hall that there was no familial relationship. That is staff member A in the indictment. Ms. Fernandez-Anderson then went on to tell that staff member A that she would give that person a $13,000 bonus. That bonus of $13,000 was more than twice as much as Ms. Fernandez was paying to the rest of her staff combined in bonuses. But that supersized bonus came with a hitch. Ms. Fernandez-Anderson told staff member A that she would need to fork over $7,000 in cash back to Ms. Fernandez-Anderson. Staff member A agreed. The indictment alleges that after staff member A received the deposit of approximately $10,000 after taxes in her bank account, staff member A was directed to make cash withdrawals. And she did that in the days following the receipt of the money in her bank account. $3,000 on May 31st, 2023, $3,000 on June 5th, 2023, and $4,000 on the afternoon of Friday, June 9th, 2023. And shortly after that last cash withdrawal, Ms. Fernandez-Anderson and staff member A texted each other, and they arranged for a meetup in a bathroom in City Hall. That meeting happened in the bathroom around 4 o'clock or so on that Friday. And when they met inside that bathroom, Ms. Fernandez-Anderson put $7,000 in cash in her pocket, the grand jury alleges. All of that money was funded by the taxpayers of the city of Boston.
So the indictment came down, the corruption seems to be exposed, and now it's time for Councilor Anderson to be arrested. Here's what happened.
Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez-Anderson has just been taken into custody.
Here's video from moments ago of the FBI outside a Dorchester home. We told you earlier this week the city councilor is under federal investigation, but neither she nor the city would tell us why. Officials cited the U.S. Attorney's Office, saying the integrity of a grand jury investigation would be impaired by disclosing information.
So, as you will see, she's wearing the same coat and jacket that she got arrested in. She goes in front of the judge and says, hey, I am not guilty of these charges.
Developments in the story that has been unfolding all day. Boston City Councilor Tanya
Tanya Fernandez Anderson leaving federal court in Boston this afternoon after pleading not guilty to corruption charges. She was arrested before dawn this morning. News Center 5 had the only camera there as the FBI took her into custody at her home. She is accused of taking thousands of dollars in city money in a kickback scheme.
Councilor Fernandez Anderson was here at the federal courthouse where she pleaded not guilty to all 6 federal charges she faces, and she was allowed to be released without having to post any bail. Now, she left the federal courthouse surrounded by cameras and reporters. She declined to make any comment, including when I asked her if she plans to resign from the Boston City Council.
And this is what I don't get. How the hell is she not in jail for this? Obviously, she ain't going to pay her fines. Obviously, she's going to just keep doing this. Like, is she going to serve any serious jail time for this? Or is it arrest, release, twiddle your thumbs, and nothing big ever changes? And then the next person comes in and does the same thing again. I'm truly curious on this one.
If convicted on these charges, she does face several years in prison.
Now, this councilwoman's finances are so bad that the judge had to appoint a government-funded attorney and said that eventually when she started getting some paychecks, she's going to have to pay the government back. But right now, she doesn't have enough money to pay for an attorney.
The judge agreed to appoint a government-funded attorney for Fernandez Anderson, but said he thinks that in the future she may be required to pay for part of her defense. As a city councilor, she currently makes about $115,000 a year.
The city has to continue doing our business.
Boston Mayor Michelle Wu speaking publicly for the first time about the arrest of Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez Anderson. The mayor says while there is still a legal process that has to play out, she believes the city councilor should resign.
The charges are serious enough that I believe it is of the nature.
Until she takes a plea deal, gets a slap on the hand, told pay this much more in fines that you're obviously never going to pay, is going to go to trial most likely. You don't go to jail until you take a plea or you're convicted by a jury. Yeah. So she's going to probably take a plea deal, get a slap on the hand, told don't do that again, and they'll throw some extra fines at her that she's probably not going to pay. Seriously. That's how this goes. It continues every single time. Oh, my Lord. I'm so sick of it. Can we just get some honest, sane people into local, state, and federal politics for a change? Let's hit play.
Nature that is going to undermine the ability for the public to trust and have effective representation in this case. So I think I've made my views clear on that.
Now, let's just keep it real. This story isn't just about corruption. It's a cautionary tale about identity politics going horribly wrong. She weaponized her status as a trailblazer to gain trust, only to betray the people who put her in that position. Now, the feds kind of had everything. They had witnesses, tapes, the money changing hands, they had it all. So Tanya Fernandez Anderson was pretty much caught. So she decided to plead guilty to the charges.
Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez Anderson plans to plead guilty to 2 charges in her federal corruption case. Now, we've been reviewing the court paperwork this afternoon, and it shows Fernandez Anderson will plead guilty to 1 charge of wire fraud, 1 charge of stealing from a program with federal funds, and in exchange, prosecutors will recommend a sentence of 1 year and 1 day in prison. There will be fines, restitution, and probation as well. Fernandez Anderson is accused of taking a $7,000 kickback from a relative that she hired to work at City Hall.
So Tanya Fernandez Anderson is likely going to jail. But now remember, she still was voted into the Boston City Council. She still has that seat. So she did the best thing, resigned.
We're here inside City Hall at her office. Nobody, of course, there. Tonight, we know she has agreed, in fact, to step down. She's apologizing, and she's asking for forgiveness. Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez Anderson, shown here as federal agents arrested her outside her home months ago. Now she's pleading guilty and resigning from the city council, saying, "I would like to apologize to my constituents, supporters, and all who have been impacted. Please forgive me. I will be resigning. It is the right thing to do." In December, I asked her if she...
It's the only thing you can do. It's not like you have another choice, sweetheart. You're... Do these people actually think their apologies mean anything? Again, I'd rather have a change of behavior than a BS apology they don't actually mean. Like, that's my thing. Accept your punishment, quit with the typical politician, oops, sorry. Yes, exactly, Art. I don't play that game. I don't play it. I'm so sick of it. Let's get through the last 3 minutes. Well, 3 minutes, 52 seconds.
asked her if she was innocent, and she couldn't say. Do you maintain your innocence, counselor?
So I can't answer that question. What's your name?
Charmin.
Charmin from Channel.
Yeah, you can't answer that question because you're not innocent. Anyways.
5. Yeah. Charmin, I've said that I can't answer that question. If you keep asking the same question, the same type of questions that lead anything.
Innocence is innocence.
And so I'm a human being.
So now Tanya Fernandez Anderson then gave an interview to local news because she's trying to soften the blow of this major corruption scandal.
And we do begin tonight with an interview you'll only see right here on NBC 10 Boston. Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez Anderson is speaking out after agreeing to a guilty plea on corruption charges.
Now, we asked Councilor Fernandez Anderson about why she took the guilty plea and whether she views this as a self-brought-on error. She told us she was unable to answer those questions due to the ongoing case. Councilor Tanya Fernandez Anderson sitting down exclusively with NBC 10 as she prepares to resign from her District 7 seat. The emotions of just the last 2 or 3 months. What's this been like for you?
I'm not just a mom to 2 boys, as you know. I have actually 4 sons with my stepsons. I'm soon to be a grandma. How do I do the right thing to ensure that my family is safe, is stable?
Why come here today? A lot of people would say maybe, I'll stay away. I won't get in the public eye today. Why come to council?
You shouldn't avoid conflict. You should face it. You should grow. You should take accountability.
Concerns that the trust may have been violated a bit for your constituents?
She's sitting here talking about accountability, but more than once she defied the rules, didn't give a rat's ass about her bills, and would have kept going if she hadn't gotten caught. Is it just me? Is it just me thinking this is so BS? I'm done with this. I'm so done with these kind of politicians. Let's get through the last couple moments.
Constituents there in District 7?
Of course.
Now, to me, the saddest part about this story is that Tanya Fernandez Anderson had everything. She was formerly undocumented, overcame that, became a citizen and a member of city council. The American dream. She had it all. But at the end of the day, instead of helping push the cause forward, she became too greedy and wanted to enrich herself. And now has to pay the consequences. So tell me what you think about Tanya Fernandez Anderson, former
I could tell you what I think about her. My commentary for the last few minutes, the last 15 minutes and 15 seconds on and off. I don't like her. I don't. I see too many politicians like this all across the board. And it's absolutely messed up. And we have another one I'm going to be sharing right now. Give me 2 seconds to swap this around. Okay. What was that, Art? No, it's not just you, and it's nothing new, and it's just some are better at getting away with it than others. Exactly. I mean, I was absolutely livid when Trump pardoned Kwame Kilpatrick from Detroit, Michigan. I about shit bricks when Trump did that. I'm like, no. What? Like, evidently, Trump did not know the whole story. And that would be an interesting one to go into. Is Kwame Kilpatrick bad mess. That was a mess of corruption, schemes, stuff like how the hell could Trump possibly have given him a pardon after everything that came to light? I don't get it. Um I have issues with it. Next person we're going to talk about is hold on, let me pull up the new Susan Lee. Representative Susan Lee. Let's listen to what this oh, don't get me started on Trump's crypto scheme. Yeah, and his college, his online college thing, the Trump University or whatever it was. He's fallen for all the same things that everybody else has. Oh, I can get into this, I can get into that, but it's not. It ends up being a scheme. It's a mess, and they all take a hit for it. He is not perfect, and anyone who seems to think he is, I got news for you. He's not. But he's still more tolerable and palpable than Kamala Harris or another 4 years of Joe Biden. And personally, I wish we had some better options. But listen to this chick who got rich off of kickbacks from the Ukraine war. This is insane.
Democratic politician Susie Lee, who bought stock in the German war weapons manufacturer Rheinmetall back in May of 2024. At the time of her purchase, not only did she sit on the military construction subcommittee, she also was the first politician to literally have ever bought Rheinmetall stock. This was the first purchase she's made in the past 2 years. Then Dave Portnoy caught notice and decided to copy her Rheinmetall buy with $500,000 of his own money.
When there's smoke, there's fire. So I took $500,000, bang, put it in. Bang.
If we look at how the stock has performed since he purchased it, it's up a whopping 169%. This makes sense considering the fact that Europe is in talks to double their military aid for Ukraine this year, and Rheinmetall is right there sweeping up all of the government contracts. If you want to start copying politicians' stock trades like Rep. Susie Lee, then you should go to borsfinance.com. Democratic politician
Okay.
Susie
So, yep. And let me share this. So she's this is from the Nevada Globe. Mother Jones questions Representative Susie Lee's ethics. In a concerning story, in Mother Jones, reporter Emma, what the fudge level name is that? Rindlischbacher? I can't today. So we're just going to nod and smile. I'm going to zoom this baby in for you guys, and you can read her name because I'm not going to. So her name's over here. I'm about to highlight it. There you go. That's her last name. So we're going to call her Emma. Raises ethical concerns and questions surrounding Susan Lee's portfolio investments and financial gains, seemingly timed with her introduction of related legislation. The piece is all the more eye-opening because the venerable left-leaning magazine directed these concerns against a Democratic congresswoman facing a tough re-election campaign. According to Mother Jones, the congresswoman wrote yet another law that could set her up to rape millions. As Lake Mead drains, Lee makes financial gains. Nancy Pelosi is another one. Nancy Pelosi, big time, took advantage of this insider knowledge bullcrap. So the two-term Democrat also has a portion of her considerable personal wealth invested in a company that stands to benefit from the water recycling legislation she championed. Oh, so not just military, also water recycling. Wow. Um yeah, she needs to be voted out fast. This is a big red flag. I'd be like, "Out, Chica, you're gone." Um Lee and her husband, a casino executive, purchased between 1,001 and 15,000 worth. That is a big number. Okay. Um, Dianne Feinstein is another. Yes. Dee and I were talking about that briefly. She's on our to-do list. We just haven't gotten to it yet. So they spent about 14,000, give or take, anywhere from 1,000 to 15,000. So somewhere in that $14,000 range worth of shares in Evoqua. Evoqua. I don't know. There's a couple ways that can be pronounced. Water Technologies, a company that, among other things, contracts with federal and local governments to provide filtration systems and other technologies used in water recycling. The Lees made two subsequent purchases of stock, also somewhere within $14,000 range worth of shares in both February and September of 2021. After their well-timed initial investments, their stock prices rose dramatically, going from $19 a share in 2020 to more than 48 at its peak in November of 2021. It has since fallen to around $32 a share, but it's still higher than what it originally was. Look at that. After their well-timed initial investments, the stock prices rose dramatically, going from 19. Yes, we know. We just read this. Why did you repeat it? Literally, absolutely, word for word, these two. Really? Really? Am I the only one who thinks this is lazy journalism? Or was this AI written at this point? Um, so in June of 2021, after the Lee's second investment in the company, but before their third, Rep. Lee introduced legislation that would significantly expand federal funding for water recycling projects. Um, this isn't the first time Lee has come under ethical and financial scrutiny. The Daily Beast, in another surprising swipe from a presumed fellow traveler, um, basically a leftist, reported last year Lee notched a major win for her Las Vegas area district by successfully pushing for casinos to gain access to federal paycheck protection programs while doled out loans to businesses hit hard by the pandemic. Okay, wait. No, Nevada only does federal taxes out of their checks. Nobody has to pay state taxes because the casinos bring in too much money. Okay, took me a second. I had to remember. Patience is a virtue. That move, in turn, extended a lifetime to Lee and her family. Full House Resorts, a gaming company run by Lee's husband that the Congresswoman personally has a direct financial stake in, applied and received millions of dollars worth of those loans. Whoa. Um, okay. That's again more red flags. That was back in 2020. Full House has recovered nicely since then, But in a new twist, the casino is now arguing that taxpayers should pick up the full tab for the 5.6 million government-backed cash infusion that kept them afloat. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's like, government, pay my student loans. Government, pay all my bills for me because I just am too lazy to do so. Yeah, socialist much there? Buddy, you run a casino. Seriously? Anyways, so according to the new report filed to the Securities and Exchange Commission, the company said it applied for loan forgiveness for the small business administrations who believe it will qualify. If so, Uncle Sam would be granting a windfall to a business whose value of the on the New York Stock Exchange has tripled from pre-pandemic levels. And this spring, the company, which operates 5 resort properties in Nevada, Colorado, Mississippi, and Indiana, expanded one of its Colorado properties with a $3.4 million purchase that included a boutique hotel. Wow, sounds like COVID money got put to good use. Gonna just, use some sarcasm there. Um, After this questionable windfall of taxpayer money tied yet again to Lee's legislation, an ethics watchdog requested an investigation, as reported by Fox News. An ethics watchdog is, oh my God. Okay, so here it is. An ethics watchdog is requesting that Congress investigate Democrat Representative Susie Lee after accusing her of a conflict of interest in asking the Small Business Administration to expand its coronavirus loan eligibility in a way that they say benefited her husband's business. Yeah, of course. Just weeks after Lee's reported request, the SBA changed its criteria on April 28th to include gaming industry. 2 weeks later, Full House Resorts, of which both Lee and her husband own millions of dollars in stock and options, received a total of 5.6 million in loans. Um, Adding to Lee's ethical issues, according to Insider, um, Lee has violated the Stock Act more than 200 times, totaling at least $267,000. Member Lee refused to comment or didn't respond when asked about paying applicable fines under the Stock Act. I apologize. I am so sick. GOP challenger April Becker demanded Lee divest her holdings and apologize. Apologies ain't going to do shit. Congressional Leadership Fund press secretary Callie Perkins released this statement. Susie Lee embodies Washington's corruption at its absolute worst. Susie continues to use her office to enrich herself while Nevadans struggle to make ends meet amid record high prices for gas and groceries. So, same shit, different day. Copy and paste and insert politician's name. That's all I can really come up with at this point. It's BS. It truly is. Um, it bugs me to know that so many of these politicians get away with this. And look at her right here, dancing around, being goofy, and that's an ugly coat to me. I'm sorry. Even me, who does not hesitate to dye my hair some wild color, I won't wear that coat. That is just no. I'm sorry. No, that coat's appalling. So yeah, she's under serious investigation, and she should be. Absolutely should be. Um I'm trying to remember if there's anything more in here that I needed to cover today. What was this one? Oh, I forgot this one. Shit. Hold on. Nope, I got to pull up the article cuz I already have the video. Let me catch this one really fast. Um, I'll probably end up calling it a day because I am struggling to breathe after this video. We'll see how I'm doing. Okay, hold on. But before we do this, oh shit, no. Let's go back to this one. And share the screen. So, New York City covering legal fees for Adams immigrants. They're not migrants. Migrant implies temporary stay. What year was this nonsense written? Oh, this was just a few days ago. Okay, main thing. This was actually today. Holy shit, this was written today. So, migrant implies it's a temporary stay, but it's not. They are staying permanently. They are not leaving.
Who's Adams migrant?
Mayor Adams of New York.
Oh, the one who got arrested?
He didn't get arrested.
Which one got arrested?
2 from New Jersey. So, yeah. So, his director, Molly Schaefer, is in a corruption probe. I have some video of that if I read this right. Hold on, let me double check that I got it right. Oh yeah, this is her getting her butt chewed by city council. Oh, we can listen to the article. Hey, I don't got to talk.
NYC covering legal fees for Adams migrant director Molly Schaefer in corruption probe. The city's law department is bankrolling legal fees for 3 city employees ensnared in criminal investigations, including Molly Schaefer, Mayor Adams' asylum seeker operations director who was recently subpoenaed in a federal corruption probe, the Daily News has learned. Schaefer was served with the subpoena last week by federal investigators from the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office. Sources have confirmed the subpoena is requiring Schaefer to deliver grand jury testimony as part of an investigation looking into kickbacks on city contracts that has also ensnared multiple other top aides to the mayor, including Tim Pearson, a senior advisor who announced his resignation this week. In a letter to Manhattan Councilwoman Gail Brewer on Wednesday, the law department confirmed it's currently representing 3 city employees in connection with criminal matters. The letter, which was obtained by the News, did not name the 3 employees or the investigations they're facing, but sources familiar with the matter confirmed one of them is Schaefer and that she's receiving free legal representation in connection with the contracts probe. The letter specifies it's the law department's understanding that the 3 city employees it's providing free representation for are neither targets nor subjects of the investigations. That means they aren't expected to face criminal repercussions, and the law department referred to the trio in the letter as witnesses and current municipal employees. The identities of the other 2 city employees receiving free legal representation were not immediately clear, but all 3 are being represented by Yankwit LLP, a White Plains-based firm, with the law department picking up the cost, the letter says. Schaefer is specifically being represented by Benjamin Ali, a partner at the firm. He did not reply to a request for comment. The law department letter says law firm partners representing the 3 city employees are being paid $600 per hour. Schaefer did not return a request for comment. The investigation she was subpoenaed in is separate from the corruption probe that resulted in Adams being indicted last week on criminal charges alleging he solicited and accepted bribes and illegal campaign donations from Turkish government operatives in exchange for political favors. Adams is not receiving city-funded legal representation in that case, but paying for it with money from his legal defense trust. Schaefer has played a leading role in overseeing billions of dollars in contracts with private companies to provide services like food, shelter, security, and case management to thousands of migrants coming through New York City. She has worked closely with Pearson, a former NYPD inspector who was given sweeping powers by the mayor to award migrant contracts.
Wow.
Pearson's detailed
That's
daily
messed up.
schedules, obtained by the news via a Freedom of Information law request, show he sat down with Schaefer 4 times in April 2023, her first month in her current job, for meetings labeled asylum seeker updates, and then met daily to discuss the migrant crisis starting in May 2023. The feds investigating Pearson, who has known the mayor for decades, seized his phones and raided his home last month. His attorney has denied Pearson engaged in any wrongdoing, but he announced his resignation from the administration Monday after the mayor for months rebuffed demands to fire him. Besides the federal scrutiny, Pearson is facing 4 civil lawsuits from former and current NYPD employees accusing him of sexual harassment and professional retaliation. He has enjoyed law department-funded legal representation in those 4 lawsuits, though it remains unclear whether he'll continue to receive that now that he's out of the administration.
Okay.
Renowned researcher Marty Martin, dubbed.
Nope. We're not going into that one. We're going to go really quick and watch the video of her getting chewed out. And then we'll call it a day.
Did you actually just say on the record that during your tenure, no family has slept in the streets of New York City?
Correct.
Are you serious?
I'm serious, yes.
Have you been out in New York City? Have you been in the subways? That is categorically untrue. It blows my mind that you would actually even say that. And really hits to the heart of the credibility of our city and our public service workers who are definitely trying their hardest in a difficult situation. But those kind of statements are so offensive and obscene. It's almost like you don't live here.
I live here.
I would suggest you not respond because that comment is so absurd and everyone in the room knows it. Now,
very good.
Let's get to.
Tells her to shut up.
So actually, let's start with Moya. So in my opening statement.
Good. Yes, tell her to keep her pie hole shut before she gets herself in deeper trouble. Very smart move. Very kind of that councilwoman who put her in her place. I apologize. So I'm going to go ahead, wrap it up a little early. Like I said, I am struggling to breathe here today. But we'll be back tomorrow. Whoops. I apologize. I removed myself from the scene. Dee may or may not be here tomorrow. I cannot remember for sure. Either way, the show will go on and all that great stuff. All the links to everything I covered today will be in the description. And we're going to just kind of wing it from there type of thing. So I will get this hair out of my mouth. What the hell? Why do I have hair poking me in the face? So I'll be back tomorrow. Y'all behave, stay safe, stay sane, stay sober, all the good stuff. Catch you later.